This is Beyond the Pole. We are broadcasting from Essex House in Achimota, Accra, Ghana. Welcome to this month's edition where we unravel stories that shape and transform society. Here are the headlines. On World Environment Day, we spotlight a young industrious entrepreneur who is repurposing plastics into fortunes. We will also explore the renaissance taking hold in the world of cosmetics in Ghana. Also anticipate an inspiring story of a 25-year-old political science graduate who has carved a path in the world of shoemaking. And on Green Africa this month, we delve into the life of a female pig farmer in Somenya. Respondent in Kenya, Koresha Ali, will provide us details how the people of Wujia are combating food insecurity and promoting agriculture. We have details of these stories and more. Stay tuned. I am Mike Kojo Frimpong. You are welcome on to our very first story for the month. A new wave of innovation is transforming one of Ghana's most pressing challenges into a statement of hope for students. Through the creative vision of Makafui Awuku, discarded plastic waste, once a symbol of pollution and neglect, is being purported into durable and functional desks for classrooms.
Plastic waste is gradually becoming a pandemic in Ghana. And yes, there have been policies put in place to curb this menace. But how practical or effective are these policies? Join me as we explore the works of Makafui Awuku, a visionary entrepreneur who recycles plastic waste into desks for students.
I started this project a few years back. I was tired about the plastic pollution problem, but I was also suffering from the pollution because I have asthmatic allergies. People are always burning plastics, and the poisonous chemicals has been irritating me, it's choking my lungs, and I was afraid I was going to die. I got to a point when I realized that the future I wanted, I am the only one who can create that future. My government cannot create that future for me. My parents couldn't. They are gone. My society couldn't. My teachers can't. So I was asking myself, what kind of future do I want to live in? And it's a sustainable future where our communities are sustainable, our cities are sustainable, that it can support the dreams of everyone, that everyone can thrive. That was how I was thinking. So I was asking myself, what does a sustainable future look like with plastics? And it's a future that plastic is a relevant raw material for a lot of stuff. So I wanted to show my leaders and I wanted to show people why and what can be done with the waste, why it's relevant and why we need to responsibly handle the waste. So I made a Christmas tree from the plastic waste in 2017. And I put it on social media and it went viral.
In 2019, as the world came to a standstill during the COVID-19 pandemic, Makafui identified an outlet filled with possibility. Surrounded by an influx of plastic waste, he began to experiment, crafting his first prototype from soft plastic, later shaped into bags and footwear. But this alone wasn't enough to confront the deeper, pressing challenges facing the everyday Ghanaian. So, he set out on a journey rooted in innovation and purpose.
We have about 2 million deficits of school desks, not the desk. We have like 2 million desk deficits in our schools. And the waste is in the landfills. The waste is being burnt and it's causing children respiratory diseases and they are dying. I mean, so like, can I convert the waste into decks so that we divert the waste from landfills into the classroom to support access to quality education?
Makafui cradles sustainability solutions for communities and cities, which involves creating an imprint that supports the dream of everyone.
80% of what we do here comes from waste workers, and the majority of them are women. So we work with women waste pickers, and a lot of the training that goes out goes to women to empower them and to make them a part of the process. So it's amazing. It's a good feeling always seeing the product from scratch, the thought process, the sketches, and for everything to come together and come to life. So it's pretty amazing.
Makafui has supplied over 15,000 desks to students across rural and urban areas, equipping the next generation of leaders.
We want people to be encouraged to separate from source. We want to create solutions that can help these people to pass it on safely. So we're also building a mobile app called Drop It Off. Wow. It's already on Android. We are waiting for Apple to give us the go-ahead. The essence of it is for us to map out all the drop-off locations we've created across the city, and then also map out the women there are some women in the communities who collect the waste and sell. So if you map them out and you download the app, if you're in Adenta, when you download the app, you open the app will tell you that there's a drop-off space 2 minutes away from where you are. Yes. So you can just safely go and drop it off and walk away. And these women can also make something on it, whilst the recycling companies also get access to the raw material, which is not contaminated.
That's quite interesting from Makafui and his team, and we hope that the Ministry of Education and other educational stakeholders take a keen interest in what he is doing to support Ghana. And on to our next story. Tomatoes are among Ghana's most widely cultivated crops, yet each harvest season, thousands of metric tons go to waste due to the absence of a functional preservation and processing system, leaving farmers burdened with losses and mounting debt. Now, in a bid to break this cycle, Frederick Sogbe, founder of Zen Cosmetics, is turning surplus tomatoes into organic skincare products.
Innovation is steadily filling the gap where policy and infrastructure has long fallen short. At the forefront of this change is Frederick Sogbe, founder of Zen Cosmetics, whose enterprise transforms surplus tomatoes into high-quality skincare products. His work exists at an intersection of industrialization and ingenuity, reimagining a crop that has long been confined to a domestic kitchen staple.
I was during my national service days in the AG area, in the Bono region. At first hand, I was posted as a teacher during my national service. So I got to see, the place was actually a farming community. They do a lot of tomato farming and yam and I think maize. So being a teacher and you live in the community, I get to see firsthand the things that are happening over there. So every year tomato comes when tomatoes in season. You see the farmers having toiled for so long a time, and then their products are sold at a giveaway price. What actually touched my heart to go into the production of the soap was a student of mine had to stop coming to school because his father was in arrears. He owes the rural bank. I mean, I think that year he did about 7 acres and all the tomatoes was good, but he couldn't sell all of it off. So the thinking now came, so if this is what is happening, how can you do something about it? There was a woman living in the community also who does the Azuma Blow soap, the local soaps. So I was then thinking, if these products, remember that back in the days they use tomato for babies, infants. There's a sickness in the local language. Actually, the name of the sickness is Amu in the Ghana language, which means tomatoes. It happens to infants. So picking inspiration from that thing, then I realized, well, it's possible you can do soaps with tomatoes.
Whilst Frederick might be the visionary behind Zen Cosmetics, the real heart of the enterprise lies in its deliberate and powerful investment in women. Zen's supply chain relies on women farmers who cultivate tomatoes, process, and package the cosmetics. Patience Ado, a beautician who now works as a production staff member, speaks on how Zen Cosmetics has transformed her career and personal growth.
And you working, there's a bit different between, I think, working and working. Because some people work without learning. So you working and learning also, I think, called you at a corner that you wouldn't have time for other basic things. Yes, so I think in a way it has helped me to know what to do with my time, because from here, you are tired, you have to at least go and rest for the next day and then come back and do what you are supposed to do.
Ghana loses approximately 35 to 40% of its annual market. Simultaneously, The country imports an estimated amount of $400 million worth of tomatoes from Burkina Faso annually. This paradox showcases a broken value chain, a gap Zain Cosmetics aims to close. Instead of pushing for conventional canning, a method Ghana has repeatedly failed to sustain, Frederick's approach reimages tomatoes as a raw material for the beauty industry. At what point did you decide on expanding the business to have different variants?
It was after I'd come to Accra and had shared samples to family, friends, and close relations, and the feedback was coming in on. Then it was just a tomato. It wasn't highly scented. They liked it. It was mild. So the feedback, we start to compare. Okay, so if this person is saying, "Oh, maybe my acne took a bit of a time," okay. So then now you have to do research. So research is key component in the manufacturing space. If you're not willing to research, you can't grow the business. So those feedbacks, I think it was about 120 people I shared it to, and I collected all that feedback. And I realized then I have to create variants. And every country globally is looking at what they can do that they have a comparative advantage of. So we saw it that, well, they have taken the lead with the can and then the other value chains. Something nobody is thinking about is the cosmetic space. So this product is a social need. So we see ourselves being the champion and leading that effort to put Ghana on the world map as people who are converting tomato into soap to address a problem and also drive the African challenge to also be able to produce on a much larger scale to supply to the global market.
Now, still on this month's edition of Beyond the Pole, today we are highlighting a significant development for Vice Versa Media Ghana, a rising force in West African media. Vice Versa Media Ghana recently made a key visit to Tony's Open Chain office, representing the Chokolonely Foundation, their vital funding partner supporting cocoa communities in Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana. The VVMG team, led by country coordinator Nana Yaboat-Messiedu, was warmly received by Tony's Open Chain country director Habiba Nyakun Ajiman. Since its establishment just last year, Nanaya proudly shared how Chokolonely Foundation seed funding has empowered VVMG to become a leading voice in West African media.
Based on the support you released to us early on last year, an amount was released to the Vice Versa Media and global platform to ensure that there's a setup here in Ghana, which the mandate one is to ensure that we provide a platform that will empower young journalists, to provide a platform that would drive impact, drive social change, and make a statement here in Ghana to promote storytelling through the power of media.
Looking ahead, Okatachi Asante unveiled exciting initiatives from VVMG's 5-year plan, including the Women in Cocoa Festival and Awards, the Save Our Cocoa campaign, and the Unsung Heroines project. Habiba Nyakun Ajiman of Tony's Open Chain acknowledged VVMG's impactful work, affirming their shared vision for gender inclusivity and human rights.
Tony's Open Chain, we have one of our main focuses on gender mainstreaming. So under our traceability and one of our social traceability activities is on human rights and community development. So how do we make sure that we can actually support in uplifting human rights, and gender falls under this category. So this is
This visit solidifies a powerful partnership dedicated to impact-driven storytelling. We invite all stakeholders passionate about media development, youth empowerment, and sustainable growth in West Africa to connect with Vice Versa Media Ghana. Let's collaborate to amplify more voices and drive even greater change. Moving on, for many graduates in Ghana, the struggle for survival and stable employment remains a pressing challenge. But for some, reviving a long-held craft has become both a viable alternative and a pathway to meaningful societal change.
Jacqueline's journey began in Techiman in the Bono region, where she was born and raised in a family of artisans. Surrounded by siblings who worked with their hands, she developed an early fascination for handmade crafts. However, this was merely a hobby she indulged in while attending Tamale Senior High School. After completing her national service in 2023, Jacqueline stood at crossroads. Despite her degree in political science, she struggled with employment.
My parents are in Techiman, and I'm kind of like living alone here in Accra. So after national service, it was a bit like it was a headache to me trying to find a job, going up and down, how to feed myself, pay the bills. It was a bit, hard for me. So I was there one day and then I was like, I have the craft, like I have learned shoemaking. What is stopping me from pursuing it now that like I barely have anything to do? So I was seated there thinking to myself, and then I just called my mom, said, Mom, me pacho, when he said me to me the table, I can put a table somewhere and then start small and see how it goes.
And what did your mother say?
She didn't oppose it. My parents have actually been supportive. They haven't, even though I went to school for 4 years, and sometimes they wish I pursue something with my certificates and all that. They have been really supportive, both my mom and my dad. I started per demand. I used to make it based on order.
Okay. What about your classmates from Legon?
Oh.
Don't you have a platform that you tell them, hey, I'm making shoes?
Oh, I do. And most of them have been really good for me. Like, I have a friend, she was getting married and she made me make the bridesmaids footwear for them.
In a world that still questions women in certain spaces, Jacqueline stands firm, not just as a business owner, but as a mentor, a builder, and a quiet force changing the narrative in a male-dominated space.
In our international news, my colleague Karisha Ali is on standby in Wajir, Kenya.
For generations, the people of Wajir and the larger northeastern Kenya have thrived as pastoralists, their livelihoods deeply rooted in livestock keeping. However, climate change has cast a long shadow over this way of life, with frequent droughts wiping out entire herds, leaving families vulnerable. In the face of these challenges, a new movement is emerging, one that is shifting the focus to farming as a sustainable solution to food insecurity in the region. Pastoralists are now turning to the soil, embracing agriculture not just as a fallback, but as a sustainable way of life. Among the pioneers of this shift is Halima Kahie, a journalist by profession and now a proud farmer by passion.
Halima Kahie, I'm the CEO of Wajir Community Radio, a vernacular radio station based in Wajir County. I'm a farmer. I invested in farming in the year 2020 during the COVID-19. Since the pandemic, people are working from home. So now, working from home, I couldn't stay because I'm used to working at least more than 12 hours. So I decided, what can I do extra instead of just staying at home? So I decided I now venture into my land, which I bought in the 2016. So I decided now doing farming. Okay. So agriculture is good, yes. I usually grow pawpaw, maize, watermelon, napier grass. This fodder is meant for my livestock because we have really suffered during the drought, and I've seen that most of the livestock we lost. It is just because of malnutrition and lack of pasture. So I decided now to do the napier grass so that I store it as a hay and use it during the drought season so that I don't lose my livestock.
Across the county, more and more residents are trading livestock for horses. This new wave of agricultural enthusiasm is not only transforming livelihoods but also challenging long-held beliefs about the land and what it can offer. Despite the obstacles, the shift towards agriculture in Wajir is showing promise. Communities that have embraced farming are beginning to see positive results with improved food availability and income diversification.
Agriculture has its own challenges, especially for us now. We are journalists, we don't know all the diseases. So our biggest challenge is the pest controls. We cannot control some of the pests because even the pesticides are not available in Wajir. So we have to send it in Nairobi, then it will take several days to come to Wajir, and it is very expensive to buy those pesticides.
From herding to harvesting, the people of Wajir are adapting one seed at a time, and as farming takes root in this traditionally pastoralist community, it is not just the crops that are growing, but hope as well. Qureshi Ali, Vice Versa Global, Wajir, Kenya.
Thank you so much, Ali. Hopefully, Africa can attain food security if we all make a bold decision to pursue change. This concludes the international news. Up next is Green Africa with Nanajo Aboni.
For your guest is as good as mine. Welcome to another insightful edition of Green Africa. I am Nanajo Aboni. On this episode, we are spotlighting a female pig farmer. Yes, you heard right. Who is not just an entrepreneur, but is changing the game of pig farming here in Ghana. Stay tuned. Wow, it's a pleasure meeting you.
It's nice meeting you too.
Thank you, Mariam Mamle Tetelano.
That's fine, that's my name.
I was hoping not to murder that name.
You are.
I'm excited meeting you.
Yeah.
A female who is into pig farming. That's quite intriguing. Okay, now tell me, how did this start for you?
I think this started as a hobby some 34 years ago. Yeah, we started on a small land in town. Then we moved to a high place. And I think the scent, the smell was putting a lot of those around off. So we were forced to look for a permanent place. So we came to Azanukope. We had a land, a 3-acre land we purchased, and we built our pens because we saw that our interest, as we thought before starting, that we wanted to do something just for chop. No, the interest started growing. So we came here with full vim to do piggery.
So there's this assertion out there that pig farming is very labor intensive. How true is that?
Yes, it's labor intensive.
Okay.
Labor intensive because
what made you a routine, a daily routine on the farm?
a daily routine, we start by sweeping. After sweeping, you scrub. After scrubbing, you feed them. Yes.
You do all that every day?
Yes. Even
is there a reason?
Yes, even formally, yes. Because if you don't do it, you know they are very distinct. So if you don't do it, they will not be clean.
Okay.
Those times when we started, we were having a trough, a drinking trough. So we fetch water from the well into the trough. So this nipple thing came in. So you see, this time we have this nipple
so
that they drink. When they put their mouth, the water comes and they drink. So it makes the water the drinking trough. You come and you always see the water dirty. So that those times we sweep in the morning, we sweep, we scrub, we feed them. Then in the evening, around 3, we sweep and feed them. As for evenings, unless maybe the room is very dirty before you see us scrubbing. But under normal circumstances, every day we scrub.
How lucrative is it?
What you put in at the end of a cycle, when you sell, you make something.
You make something. Something. Yeah. Let's put a figure to it.
Let's take maybe you make 20%.
20% of what you invest.
Yeah, what you invest.
But in the long run, you're able to.
Yeah, you are able to, because it's not one, it's not two. So even if you are making 200 on one, if you have 100, you can imagine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it expensive feeding?
It's very expensive.
Now walk me through that.
Normally, we have, in feeding animals, we have every category. You know, we have categories of pigs. We have the breeders, who breed, who farrow. Then we have the lactating mothers, those who are breastfeeding after farrowing. Then we have the piglets. They also have their special feed you can give to them. Like outside countries, they have milk they feed them with after 2 weeks. They give them a special milk. But Ghana, we don't have it, yes. And so we have this feed prepared by Kujes. They have the Romelco for piglets. Then after 6 weeks, you wean them. Then you give them the weaner feed.
You wean them, please. For our viewers out there.
Weaning, you take the piglets from the mother.
Okay.
But
so
before
the baby,
that's the weaner.
Okay.
You take the piglet from the mother, then it becomes a weaner.
Okay. You got that right. Great.
Then the piglets now becomes a weaner. So weaners, we have their special feed. We prepare for them. You need a lot of protein and carbohydrate. Maize take about 50% of weaner feed preparation.
And you have to buy that, or you process that locally?
Maize. You have to buy maize.
Okay.
You have to get some soya bean flour. You have to get some wheat bran. Then you have to get some palm kernel cake. Then oyster.
Okay.
Yes, that's the preparation for the weaner.
Is it expensive?
It's very expensive. It's very expensive. But when you give them that, they're able to grow fast.
I was just about asking you, there's an assertion that pigs can eat basically everything. So why the specialty? Why do you have to get them a certain kind of feed?
Yes, if you want to do proper piggery, then you need to prepare feed for the pigs. Like the poultry farmers do for their poultry, their birds. We also have to do that for our pigs. But yes, they say pigs eat everything, they eat everything. But if you give them everything, they will not grow.
Okay.
It will take them about 2 years to get to 80 kilos, while someone will take about 6 weeks, 6 months, 5 months to get to 80 kilos if the farmer is paying nutrition.
Thank you, Nanaja, for that beautiful piece on pig farming. What makes it even more interesting is that a female is rearing the pigs, which is quite rare in Ghana. Well, thank you so much for watching. That's it for the month's edition of Beyond the Pole broadcast from Essex House in Achimota, Accra, Ghana. Don't forget to support the Unsung Heroines initiative. To donate, please contact us on the number displayed on your screen. My name is Mike Kojo Frimpong, and this is Vice Versa Media Ghana.